Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to handle a traffic stop when you are legally armed. Okay, remember that phrase, legally armed. We're going to come back to that, but really important for you guys to know, don't ever say the word gun during a traffic stop, right? Why? Because the word gun is a trigger word that police use during training. So what happens is, back when they're at the academy, they're standing on the line, there's like 20 of them, right? And then the instructor yells out, gun! And then everybody does this, gun! And then they pull out. They unload their gun on the target. Now, I've got a target over there at 45 feet. Okay, it's 2 feet by 1 foot. I think I only missed one shot. The target that they practice on is usually the size of a door, and it's only like 5 feet in front of them. Okay, now it is different in different areas, but the point is that they're basically unloading their gun into whatever is in front of them. Okay, they're not on a three-dimensional range where they have to find targets, where they concern themselves with shooting from different angles, or they just pull out their gun and they dump it in, they dump all the bullets into whatever is in front of them. So the trigger word is gun. Okay, and not only that, what happens is when the instructor says gun, everybody else on the line says gun. And the reason is because if you can picture a situation, a dangerous situation for a police officer, if you've got one officer that, let's say, has somebody that is in fact dangerous and is pointing a gun at them and is about to shoot them, it's not enough for them to pull out their gun and basically try to stop the threat. They have to inform all the other officers that that person is a deadly threat, and they need a single word that will communicate that information as fast as possible to everybody, and that word is gun. Okay, so they say gun, and then he opens up, and then all the other cops open up at the same time, because they're all kind of triggering off each other. Okay, so that's why you never say the word gun during a traffic stop. All right, that's a trigger word that they use for for when they're training. Okay, so let's take a step back now. That was the important thing I needed to communicate to you guys. Don't use that trigger word that tells them start shooting at the thing that's in front of me. Okay, don't use that word. So you're driving, you see the lights behind you, you pull over. Okay, what you want to do is when you get pulled over, the cops are usually running your plates. Okay, during that time, you might have, if you see that they're still sitting in their car, if you're able to get to your wallet where your driver's license, registration, insurance is, get it out and put it on the dashboard behind your steering wheel. If you're able to do that before they get out of the car, great. If you see they're already out of the car or getting out of the car, don't go into your pocket. Just keep your hands on the steering wheel. Okay, really important. When they come up to the car, if they find you with your hands on the steering wheel, and I don't mean like casually on the steering wheel, I mean gripping it tight like this or open like that, right? With your palms on it. Okay, what you're doing is you are communicating to them that you have been trained on how to properly handle a traffic stop. And then what happens is that calms them down a little bit, because if you know this information, right? If you know this secret information of how to handle a traffic stop, I mean, who trained you, right? Obviously you've been trained. Who are the people that know these things? It's usually not the bad guys. It's usually the good guys, right? That know these things, that know that when you get pulled over, keep your palms on the steering wheel, hands open. So that's a signal to them. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, they're going to ask you driver's license, registration, insurance. Okay, if it's in your wallet, you're going to say, if your wallet is in your pocket, you're going to say, it's in my left pocket, can I go get it? Okay, and they're going to say yes. Now, he just told you, give him a driver's license. Why can't you just go to it? You just, again, you're reinforcing to it, you're adding that extra layer of, I'm complying. Okay, it's in my left pocket, sir, can I go get it? Right? So and he's gonna probably, he may look at you and say, yeah, because he just told you. But it's, again, it's de-escalating the situation. It's making him feel a lot more comfortable with you. Okay. Now, what I will usually do is, if I got my gun here, I keep my wallet here. I don't keep the gun and the wallet on the same side. Okay. I keep the two separate for that reason. Now, as far as, do I tell him about the gun? Okay. Now, in some states, there is what they call a duty to inform, where you have to tell the officer that you are armed. Okay. In my state, in Pennsylvania, there is no duty to inform. How do I know this? Because I asked my prepaid legal service, okay, and I had them give me this information in writing. All right, so the one I use is U.S. Law Shield. The reason I use them because they're cheap and they do the job. So it's U.S. Law Shield. It's something like $30 or $40, $30 or $40 up front, and then you pay $10 a month. With some add-ons like putting your wife on, it might go up to like $15 or something. But there's a promo code for you guys, Pocono Shooting. Okay, that will get you some discount. I don't remember what it is offhand, but that promo code will get you some discount. Right, so you just put that in the code field. This video, more than anything, goes out to the people in the 6 states that just got back their right to carry, right? Because the right to carry was always there. It was always in the Second Amendment, right? You had a right to bear arms, but the Supreme Court recently affirmed that it applies to you people as well, right? You're not second-class citizens. You have a right to bear arms. Bear meaning carry. You have a right to carry guns. But what's going to happen is, in a lot of these, in these 6 anti-gun states that are now being forced to issue carry permits, they're gonna put a lot of roadblocks in place. There's a lot of laws they're gonna put up, a lot of restrictions, areas that you can carry guns, areas you can't carry guns, and a lot of these laws are going to be challenged in court. They're going to be knocked back. They're going to go back. They're going to make new laws. So the laws are going to be changing very quickly, back and forth, for at least the next 2 years. Okay, it's going to probably take about, I think, 4 or 5 years before this gets completely settled and things get settled. By then, what I think is going to happen is within 5 years, I think the whole country is going to become constitutional carry. And eventually, I think we'll get to the point where the laws are going to become more uniform. But in the meantime, there's going to be really drastic changes. So you need a prepaid lawyer, especially if you're in one of those states that's going to keep up with the laws, and basically send you emails with the latest changes. Okay, and also you can call them up, because one of the things I do with these guys is I call them up and I ask them questions. Like a while ago, I asked them, okay, how do I handle a traffic stop? They gave me, do I have a duty to inform? Right? I asked them that question. I asked them, can I carry this, this gun that I built myself, this unserialized gun that I built myself? And the answer was yes, I can carry it in my state. If I was going to travel to some other states, could I carry it there? Could I even bring it to those other states? I don't know. There's 50 states. They're all going to be different. So I would have to call these guys up and ask them, right? And I would have them send me that information in writing, right? So I would take it with me to have it as a reference. But anyway, so as far as do you have a duty to inform, right? Because that's how I went into that whole on that tangent. In some states, you got in these 6 states, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna put something in there where there's a duty to inform. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to say, with your hands on the steering wheel, okay, you're going to tell the officer, I need you to know that I'm legally armed, okay? You do not say, I have a gun, because even if it's already been established that you're not a threat to them, the second you say gun, they're already twitching. They're going to do this, right? Because, because what their eyes and brain sees is different from the muscle memory that's been built up, right? They've been trained to react to gun, pull your gun out, and start shooting at whatever's in front of you, okay? That's how they've been trained. So we want to completely avoid that. Don't say that trigger word. Don't say gun, okay? You say, I am legally armed. Some people will say, I have a carry permit. I have a carry permit. The reason why I don't like saying I have a carry permit, because a lot of times that will feed in. I have a permit to carry a, and they'll say that other word, a permit to carry a gun. And I don't want to set it up in such a way that it feeds into that at all. So I say I'm legally armed, because there's no way that that's going to roll, that's going to introduce that other word that should never be said during a traffic stop. Okay, that's really important. So if in my state, okay, where I do not have a duty to inform, uh, what happens is if I get pulled over, I don't tell them that I'm armed unless I believe that they're going to see the gun. Okay, if I think that they're going to see the gun, then I will say I just need you to know that I'm legally armed. And usually I carry concealed. When I sit down, the seat kind of wraps, the truck seat wraps around, so there's no way they're going to see this unless they tell me to get out of the truck, which did happen to me. Okay, there was one night I was coming home. It was late. I was a little tired. I think I hit the lines on the road a couple of times. They pulled me over. Basically, they were pulling me over to make sure I wasn't drunk. Okay, so they pulled me over. They asked me for the paperwork. You know, again, I had hands on the steering wheel. Okay, it's in my left rear pocket. Can I go get it? Yes. Went and I got it. Gave it to them. And they said, fine, your paperwork's all good. But listen, the reason why we pulled you over is because we saw you hit the lines a couple of times, and we want to make sure that you're safe to drive. We need you to step out so we can check you. And I said, okay, fine. But before I get out of the truck, sir, I need you to know that I'm legally armed, all right, with my hands on the steering wheel, right? And then he said, okay, that's fine. So then I slowly opened up the door. I got out with my hands like this, okay? And then he asked me, where is it? I said, right rear pocket, all right? Basically, he went around me, but I kind of, turned in such a way that he could access me more easily. And then what he did is he went back here, he pulled it out, he put it back in the back of my truck, in the bed of my truck. Okay, the important thing for you guys to know, okay, there's no circumstances where they will ever tell you to take the gun out of the holster yourself. Okay, they're going to disarm you. They will never tell you take the gun out and put it. Don't misunderstand. Okay, if you think that you hear that they told you to take the gun out, you misunderstood them. Okay, there is no way that a cop is going to tell you during a traffic stop to touch your gun. Okay, so if you think you hear something to that effect, you misheard. Okay, there's no way that's going to happen. They're going to disarm you themselves while your hands are out like that. Okay, so and the reason why I bring this up, because there is an incident where there was that type of misunderstanding, where the person thought that he was being told to take out his gun, right? And it didn't go very well. Okay, so there's do not touch your gun during a traffic stop. Okay, gun stays in the holster. In fact, in many cases, the common saying is, when you say I'm legally armed, they will tell you, okay, you leave yours where yours is, I'll leave mine where mine is. Okay, that's what they will often tell you. Unless, again, they're going to ask you to get out of the car, in which case now they're gonna disarm you for the purpose of that stop. And even if for some reason they don't, make sure your hands are like that. All right, it's up to you to protect yourself at all times. And in this instance, it means not getting so comfortable, right? Because maybe you get into some, because maybe this traffic stop has almost nothing to do with you. Don't get so comfortable that you put your hand anywhere near where your gun is. You've been stopped. You've been stopped. You're not having a conversation with the officer at Dunkin' Donuts, all right? You've been stopped. Protect yourselves at all times in terms of don't put your hands anywhere near your gun, all right? Now, during the course of the stop, they might start talking you up. Keep your answers short and to the point. Okay, where you're coming from, work, where you're going to, house. Keep it simple. The purpose of them asking you questions is because occasionally when they get people talking, they say that they did illegal things, right? That just came from the crack house, So don't get into, don't get diarrhea of the mouth, right? Keep your answer short and sweet, which again, they will understand to mean that you have been trained to give short, straight to the point answers, because that's the way you're supposed to answer a police officer that stops you. Short to the point. When they hear answers that are short, straight to the point, they know you've been trained. They know you know what you're doing. They're gonna try. They want to get through this traffic ticket as fast as possible. If you're gonna give you a ticket, don't argue with the cop. Okay, take the ticket, take it to court. One of the things that you can do is you can ask questions. Okay, you can ask questions, like, for example, just for example, let's say you get pulled over for a stop sign or something, right? You say, "I'll pull you over because you didn't stop at that stop sign." That stop sign back there, sir. Did you notice that have you noticed that stop sign is buried pretty deep into the bushes that are growing around it? You don't tell him. You ask him. Okay, let him. You ask him so he can figure it out himself. Okay. The same thing. If you end up in court, you don't go into court and you start making statements. You go into court. The officer makes his statements. You get to ask questions of the officer to, basically you're playing a lawyer. If you go to court, if you go to traffic court, you get to be lawyer. You're representing yourself. You ask questions. You don't make statements. And through that line of questioning, you'll bring up the points. You'll get him to admit, or you're trying to get him to admit that what happened is not exactly the way it seemed, the way it happened. Okay. So anyway, so those are the things the main thing I want to say here is, if you get pulled over, keep your hands on the steering wheel, be polite and courteous, ask for permission before you move your hands. I like keeping my paperwork in my wallet, not in the glove compartment, because now that means I got to reach over, I got to open up the glove compartment. Now there's concerns of what else might be in there. So it's a lot easier for me to have my paperwork in my wallet, where I may get, if I see that when I get pulled over, I have not, because a lot of times they're running your plates and stuff like that. You get like 30 seconds to a minute to take out your wallet, put it on the dashboard, behind the steering wheel, so that when they ask you for that, it's right there. You don't have to go to you don't have to go into your pockets at all. But if I feel that they're going to see the gun, not the gun, the firearm. We don't say that word gun, the firearm. There's lots of other words that you can say besides gun if you have to refer to it. Okay. I will tell them that I'm legally armed. Okay. And again, never say the G word. Okay. Never say the G word. That's a trigger word that they use when they were training. As soon as that G word is said, as soon as they say gun, everybody comes out, bam, 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 bam. They dump the whole magazine on whatever's in front of them. Okay. So again, really important, especially mostly for you guys in those anti-gun states that just got your rights back. You're gonna need a prepaid lawyer, because there's gonna be lots of changes coming down really fast. There's your promo code; that'll get you some discount. And as things come up, these are the guys to ask. I mean, I'm not gonna have the answer, because I don't know what they're doing in your state. I mean, I'm gonna hear things, but by the time you see my videos, by the time I say something, things have probably changed, right? Because things are going to be changing back and forth. You need a prepaid lawyer that's going to give you updates as soon as they happen, okay? Not because some of you guys, you might see this video 6 months from now. You might see this video a year from now, 2 years from now. So you need and these guys have been around for a long time, so they'll still be here 2 and 3 years down the road. You need to, the videos that you will find on YouTube and all these, like on Rumble and on Gunstreamer and Odyssey and all these platforms, it's a good place to start your research. Okay, so like this video that I'm doing right here, it's a good place to start your research. Okay, but it doesn't stop there. All I'm doing is I'm pointing you in the right direction. Okay, when it comes to legal questions, you got to get them from a lawyer. You got to get it in writing, okay? And that's one of the things I do with these guys. Like, one of the questions I asked a while ago is it legal for me to carry this unserialized gun that I built in my state, okay? I called them up, I actually emailed them, and they sent me back in writing that, yes, it is legal for me to carry this unserialized gun in Pennsylvania, okay? if I didn't ask that question, I would not know. Right? And you don't want to assume or hear from that guy. I mean, yes, do listen to other people, but what you're trying to get from other people, including myself, is you're trying to find out what questions to ask the lawyer. Okay, that's how you use that. So thanks for watching. Make sure you guys are following me on Odyssey, which is uncensored. Over there, my channel name is Pocono Tactical. On Rumble, I'm Pocono Guns. On YouTube, I got 3 channels. I'm Pocono Shooting, Absolute Gun Rights, and then I got the original Safa channel that goes back to 2006. I'll talk to you all soon.